All right, guys. So let's get started. Tonight is the third, the hands-on coding workshop. So this is the continuation from the first workshop. So we started with the backend, then we are developing the front end, and tonight we are going to wrap up the front end, and then we are going to integrate with the backend, and we're actually going to access the functionality on the website, and then surely access means you're going to send the data, and we are going to verify on the backend. Definitely that will verify the data on the database. So that's the goal. We should be able to wrap up by 11 o'clock. If you have any questions, you can actually write them down. We will be able to answer. So again, this is Shibla Math. I am, and Ayman is going to lead the workshop. So I think we have stopped on the HTML part. So HTML we use to build the website. To build means you consider structure any website, you just use the HTML. Simple. So it is not any designing, just you can see all the table elements. You can see anything on the website. It's a combination of the many things. One of the things is HTML. So that's what the HTML does. Can you activate the cursor on the right top? Thank you. So again, you can read more details as you want. Creating the website or customize the existing web template, building the foundation of a website. And of course, we are going to use the CSS, which is the designing or making the different color and all the good stuff. And plus the JavaScript for the website automation, means put something automated on the website. We use the JavaScript. So of course we use the SASS. Go ahead, Ayman, you can go ahead, you can continue.
Should we go to the next slide?
No, you go ahead. Why we use the SASS?
So SASS is basically, it's just like CSS. CSS is basically what we use to design our web pages. SASS is basically built on top of CSS with some additional features such as reusable code, and you can create like custom functions, and you can also like basically you can define variables, and you can store things like colors and font sizes for like reusability for later use. So this makes the developer a lot more efficient and makes the developer more productive, basically.
Sounds good. So please do not mix the HTML and the CSS. HTML is kind of more about the structure. CSS is kind of more about the designing. Okay. So SASS is kind of the programmatic way of CSS, if I understand it correctly. Okay.
Yes.
So it has the details. Go next slide. Of course, we have the front end and we have the back end. And so when we connect the front end and the back end is the business logic, which is the SOAP API or the RESTful API or the GraphQL. For us, we are using the RESTful API, and there are many tools you can use for testing the backend API. So Postman is one of them. So for us, we have been using the Postman. So today we are going to use the Postman as well after we complete the integration. Even though once you complete the integration, you do not need to do the Postman that much, because at this time you are accessing your website from the browser. Okay, but still we are going to use it. Go next. As mentioned, we are using the ant design. So there are two options. One is you can write or develop everything you see on the website, right? Any button, input, the alert, you can write yourself from the scratch. Another is there are so many the framework out there. So we are using the ant design. So using this, developer build the component faster to build a website. So we are using that. Okay, go next. So today is we have done this. We have done this. Yeah, continue. Scroll down. We have done this. We have done this as well. That's the first workshop. We have done all of this. We have done this. We have done so as well. This part is also done. This part is done as well. Am I right?
Yes, everything is, these are like the backend portion. We've already done all of this.
Yep, so we have done the backend. Last week, actually, we have done the backend. We have started the front end. So we are going to focus on the front end today.
Yes.
Okay, these are all done. I think here we're starting, right?
Yes, so this is where we are going to be starting. We already did some of it in the last workshop, so we're just going to continue it.
Yes. So now you can go to the interface.
Yes, 1 second.
So one thing, once you create a .html extension file, you are just only doing the HTML. Once you create the .css, means you are creating a CSS file. But once you create the .js, means JavaScript, actually you can write down the JavaScript, you can write down the HTML, you can bring the CSS. Everything you can use the JS file. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So we are going to build develop the front end. So of course we are going to create the form. So in this case, enter the product details. In this form, we are going to have the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we are going to consume the backend API. So that's actually the important part. You guys need to watch out. HTML, CSS is fairly squarely easy. Let me step back. Means to grab it, initial, it is easy. It's not that difficult. But to be fair and square, to build a professional website, like the picky person I am, you have to know very good HTML, CSS. So, but it is not the programming language. It is not super complicated, if you ask me. But when the programming come into picture, which is JavaScript, then the things become robust, dynamic, and of course, you are fulfilling the web application. When you do the HTML, CSS, it is a website. When you bring the flavor of the programming, which is JavaScript, and you are connecting with some type of the business in the other API, at this time, your website become the web application. So for us, as of now, it is the website. The moment you are going to add the APIs that turn into a web application. Okay. So this is the one we are going to build, the HTML, CSS, and we are going to implement the backend. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, as we previously mentioned, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So we're basically going to have a form. You can write down all the product information. When you click on submit, it's going to actually create the product, and there's another button called view products. If you click on it, it's going to show you all the products that we have. And we can also edit the product as well. And we can also delete a product. It's going to say product deleted successfully. We can also go home, and we can also create a new product. Let's just create one. So let's just get a picture really quickly. So in order for the picture, we just take a picture. We just copy the image address, and we just paste the URL. We set the price, the category, give it a brand name. Let's say 250 quantity is on our full laptop, and we're just going to give it a description. So when we do submit, product added successfully. When we view products, you'll see the product being created. So that's basically what we're basically going to build. So we already did some of it. We have already created the front page. So I'm just gonna bring the code.
We are using the VS Code, that's for the IDE, and mention it's the Node.js, which is the JavaScript. Runtime engine is the Node.js because you have the backend using JavaScript. The front end also we are using the React. All right, so how much you have done last week until here, right?
Yes, let me show you. So
when you run the npm run deb, means you're running on your local computer, means where the developer machine is. That's the reason it's called the dev.
So this is basically what we did so far. Looks very similar to the previous one that we were working that I was showing you, but it doesn't really do anything. Like if I do submit or if I had to place an information inside, nothing's really gonna happen because this is just like a static
So
page so far.
Sure, stay there. So please go to the developer tools. So pay attention now. So you have to, in a situation, when the front end is separated from the back end, still you need to verify all the front end, the structure. It means that you have to verify the data, the punctuation, like how the consistency of the text message and the title and the whatever is called all the naming convention, they has to be consistent. So since I'm saying there is no API consumption happen, I can verify that. Go to the network tab, please. Okay, and then now you can just type something and hit the submit. Yep, so you see that there is nothing is coming. Yeah, hit submit again. So nothing is coming. So that's good, right? So it means there is no communication has been established yet. So now let's go to the another tab, the tab you have already built. Okay, so now let's go to the next network tab. Then you will see, okay, stay there. Now you can type information. Go. Why you keep typing there? You type the network tab. Okay. Yeah. Now you can type the information. Okay, good.
So I have to write all of the information because that's basically like the validation that I've set up so far. So
validation means each of the field is mandatory. That's the reason you have to pass all of this. If you do not do it, it will not go through this. So hit submit. So now you see this, there was so pay attention now. Stay there, go slow, go slow. Close this here. So you will be looking for the type XHR, okay? So there is a type XHR and you can see the status 200. So that's the very important. And remember, our API was create. So go back to the Swagger.
yes.
So let's open the Swagger.
Okay, yeah, I have to run. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I have to run the Swagger separately. Let me just run that.
Yep, go ahead. So you have to run the Swagger from the code base as well. So now you're seeing everything raw, means the before and after. And this approach, the approach you are showing on the second tab is called the TDD, test-driven development. It means that you are testing now, it should fail, okay? Because you did not integrate anything. After you integrate, then you run it, it pass, means that's exactly the approach. The thousand of maybe the tens of thousands software development team follow the TDD approach, means you develop, you do not integrate, you develop and you try, it should fail because you did not integrate. After the integration, you should try again, it should pass. Okay, so remember we are using the Swagger to expose each of the API we have developed for each of the functionality we came up with for those 4 user story: create, update, delete, and then something else, and read. So we're just scaling